for joining. This is the Purring Pot, and today we are discussing motherhood, postpartum depression, and social media, and all the ways that those three things interact, both positive and negative. And we're going to keep the subject broad because we're guaranteed to go off on some bunny trails. Um,
We never do that.
yeah, no, we
Ever.
never bunny trail. I have no idea what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I don't know what a bunny trail is.
So join us for this discussion, and we'll
Grab your
probably,
coffee or
yeah,
tea.
we're gonna kick it
Oh,
off with some anecdotes. I know personally, I just became a mother about 4 months ago. I am currently rocking a 4-month-old baby with my foot while we talk.
that's real
um,
life.
that's real life
Real
right
life.
there. um, but yeah, hi. Yeah, I it's been really stressful just scrolling through social media because naturally the algorithm will pick up on the fact that I'm buying baby clothes and stuff. So I start to see more and more motherhood and
Hmm.
baby related social media posts on Facebook, on Instagram, and some of it can be really, really stressful. Some of it can be really, really positive and really, really negative. It's
Hmm.
hard to find a post that's middle of the road.
Yeah. You either feel super encouraged or supported, or you just feel that you should be guilty. Like that
Yeah,
post that we saw yesterday. It
yeah.
was like confirming that mom guilt is good.
Well,
Like,
that you should, yeah, if you're not doing this, then you should be guilty. You
right.
should you should feel guilt, like mom guilt, if you can't play with your kid every day of the week.
For every hour that they're awake.
For every hour that they're awake. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because let's God forbid we teach our kids to be bored.
Right. Well, so I did see another post yesterday about it was a potty training idea of turning the kid around so that they're facing the back of the toilet seat and
Yeah.
give them a dry erase marker,
Uh-huh.
and so that they can doodle while they learn the potty.
Doodle. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. Of course, they then always look at comments because that's fun. And everybody was like, why do parents feel like their kids need to be entertained every moment of every day? And I'm like, that's a good point.
It's valid. It's
It's
valid. I
valid.
mean, yeah.
But I also don't necessarily disagree with the doodling on the toilet. But I
No.
get where those comments are coming from because there is so much pressure of my kid's awake. I have to stimulate him and teach him everything I can in the 3 hours before we go to grandma's or whatever.
Mhm.
And that's stressful.
Some of it comes from just the social environment that we're in that we don't get all day with our kids. We do only have 3 hours before we have to drop them off at grandma's or the daycare center, and we have to go to work. We live in an economic socio situation where a single income household isn't practical for the majority of the population, and so we feel like the 3 hours that we do get with them needs to be the most like quality time we can possibly make it, which is fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's an okay way to
Mhm.
feel. But it's also important to remember that you affix your own oxygen mask first.
Yes.
And if they need to lay on the floor and occupy themselves for an hour, they can do that.
Hmm.
They're, oh, are you okay?
Oh, bless you.
Hi.
I mean, and there's such value to independent play.
Hmm. There
Um,
is
hmm.
independent play, that boredom, learning to entertain yourself while other people
Yep.
do other things is critical.
Hmm. And I think what you just said is to entertain themselves, not be entertained
Yeah,
all the
they'll
time.
figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they know what they like and what they don't like. And right now, my son, who's 15 months old, is all about lids, Tupperware, and the matching lids, and he's constantly putting them together, the ones that match, and carrying them around, and it's so cute. But he's
Yeah.
learning how things fit. He's learning shapes all on his own. I'm not sitting there saying this is a square, this is a circle. Sometimes I do, but I don't
Yeah.
constantly be like, oh, he has a shape in his hand. I need to tell him what the shape is.
Shape is. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, cool. you're occupied. I'm going to do the dishes so you don't come touch the dirty silverware.
Yes.
That's where we're at.
And that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's there's so much, and there's guilt, especially on the baby and that first year of, oh my god, their wake window is 30 minutes and I've got to feed them and play with them and interact with them in that 30 minutes, and then I have to immediately put them down to sleep, and I'm just like, yeah, y'all realize your ancestors did none of this, right?
Yeah. The term wake window started to really stress me out in my
Yeah.
first year of babyhood.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah. Oh, I bet.
it's not a good term. It's a good term for some people, and I don't want to come across as my way is the right way because it's not true at all. But some people receive information differently. And when I see information on these posts, on these memes that may be harmless and, just hilarious or comical, I can take them very, very seriously. I can take it the wrong way. And it's a struggle to filter every single post through my anxiety and depression. Like,
And
no,
just
I don't need to dwell on. I'm not going to read that one because I know what that one's going to do.
and just for the audience's reference, Stephanie is struggling with prolonged uh,
PPD
PPD.
as part of, yeah.
Yeah,
I struggled with severe PP. What's it called? Prepartum. That sounds weird.
prenatal.
Prenatal. Thank you. Prenatal prenatal anxiety pretty severely before my child was born, and then it unfortunately turned into PPD, and it's gone up and down. It's a roller coaster, but
Yeah.
it's been over a year, and I'm currently working with my OB to nip it in the bud.
Yeah, we're working. We're
Yeah, we'll
working
talk
on it.
about
It's
that
okay.
next
Yeah,
time.
it's a thing. It's a thing
Yeah.
that happens.
Yep.
And and as someone who's dealt with mental illness for a really, really long time myself, I'm shocked I'm not dealing with PPD more than I am. Like I was like fully expecting it. I was like, oh my god, the wall's gonna hit me, and I'm not, and it's not, and I'm like, when? When is the floor gonna fall out from under me? That's her toy. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to read posts that say, you have to have this done by this time, and this has to be accomplished by this time, and if they're not doing this, every day, they're not going to be, normal or whatever. And that's like, we can get into a 4-hour discussion about what is normal. We can discuss my issues with the neurodivergent neurotypical terminology. We can discuss, yeah, we can talk about like normal, like what is normal.
What's normal?
What does
Yeah.
normal mean?
I mean, especially as a child, and not. I mean like preteen, pre-puberty, when that word is thrown around, like, oh, you aren't normal. You don't have a normal family. You don't have this normal. I know where I'm rabbit trailing.
Yeah, well, I told you, that's why we keep the subjects broad.
That is so damaging to a child that's growing, and
Yeah.
something that we're both gonna have to process with our children.
Yeah.
Being normal or not normal, or figuring out what normal means.
Yeah.
It's hard, and as a new parent, that's going to be hard to watch.
It is.
It is going to be hard to watch.
It is. And it's one of those, like, anytime you encounter social media, you have to remember that the algorithm is feeding what is most popular.
Right.
And on a certain level, that's terrifying.
Yes.
Because that means that what's most popular is these moms, especially new moms, and especially in our, like I said, our current society, which is an individualistic society. So they may not have the balance of aunts or sisters or mothers or grandmothers to tell them, yo, you can dial that back a notch and the kid will be fine.
Yeah.
Like when you don't have that voice of reason, all you have are these social media posts that are, if you do it 3 times, the baby will develop a habit. Nobody develops a habit in 3 times.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that voice of reason talking to you when your emotions are in the depths of the
Mhm.
wild,
And sleep deprivation.
and the sleep deprivation and the the PTSD of waking up to a screaming child at a volume that triggers the fight or flight reaction in your brain. Like, nobody needs that. Nobody
No.
needs to be told not to do something more than 3 times with your baby.
So
Like,
the
no.
post that Rose is referring to is kind of what spurred, is that the right
Yeah,
word? Spurred on the chosen topic for today. Um, our first, our first
our
topic.
first, our
Yay!
first topic.
We are excited to be here. I probably should have said that in the beginning.
That's okay.
But there was this a TikTok reel thing. I don't know what it
I don't know. It
was.
was we're old.
Yeah,
It was social media.
it was a video that was like vertical. I'm not that old. But anyway, it was I don't remember just if she was a quote doctor or it doesn't well, I guess it does matter, but I don't remember.
I didn't look because
I
it
didn't look.
pissed me off too much.
And this lady's point was talking about newborns specifically, to not do the same um thing
To
three
not
times more
her
than 3 times in a
specific
row.
her specific point was not to rock them to sleep, not
Yes,
to
because
comfort them to sleep, because
if you
then they'll
rock them
get
to
used to it.
if you rock them to sleep 3 times in a row, then they will always need to be rocked to sleep forever and eternity until they die. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
understand. And I remember struggling with that when my son was young. Like, if I do it, if he gets used to me rocking him to sleep, or if he gets used to having a bottle before bed, then he's going to struggle with that his entire life. And then I saw this is one of those good posts that I saw that was, do you have a drink of water before you go to bed? Do you like to have a midnight snack before you go to bed? Like, is that harming you as a
Yeah.
person to have a nightly routine? And I was like, oh, okay.
And
I can digest this a little bit better now.
I remember 25 years ago when I was babysitting, we rocked every baby to sleep. You gave every baby a bottle before bed. I
Because
mean,
also,
even toddlers that we were babysitting, it was, do you want a cup of milk before bed?
mm,
Do they get a cup of, like, that's a
yeah,
question for the parents. Do they
yep,
get something before bed? That, and sometimes it was just a glass of water, sometimes it was a glass of milk. But, that those were questions that you asked as a babysitter. What do they get before bed? How do you get put down? We were put down, you and I were put down with full stomachs on our
on
stomachs.
their tummies.
Don't do that. We know better now. But we slept fine. Nothing
Yeah.
bad happened. And we don't need a bottle of milk at 35 and 38 years old to sleep.
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean,
you
a
outgrow
bottle of
that.
wine, maybe.
But they're
Yes.
gonna outgrow that, and that's
Yep.
that's a natural thing. And the part about the post that really made me angry was her talking about they're gonna develop a habit. You can't develop a habit without a long-term memory. Long-term memory doesn't develop in babies until 3 or 4 months.
And
So
as I pointed out, she was specifically talking about
talking
newborn.
about newborns,
Mhm.
like, newborn babies can't develop habits. That's not a thing.
Well, newborn babies don't even have their, what's the fancy term? Circadian rhythm.
They don't
Dead.
have melatonin. They
They don't
don't
have
know
that
what's
down yet.
day, what's night.
So they
They're
have to be rocked
confused.
to sleep.
So they have to be rocked to sleep. And the only thing they know is your body.
Your heartbeat,
Like,
yeah.
that's the only thing that's familiar to them, because that's all they've known. You are literally their world. You are all that exists, and everything beyond you is foreign and unnatural.
Yep.
Like, and that's just, yeah, that's right.
Chimed in.
Hi. And it's so frustrating to me to hear these comments, and I'm just like, put your baby down awake so that they don't get used to you. Like, they don't, and this is the part that kills me. They don't get used to your comfort. I'm like, you're a mom.
Yeah.
it's kind of your job to
Yeah.
comfort your child. You want them to get used to you comforting them. Like, that's so absurd. Now, if we're talking about, certain kids and certain habits and certain lifestyles, that's different. But to if the consequence of me rocking my child to sleep is that they become accustomed to my comfort, I don't see how that's a negative.
I don't. I mean, are there surveys? I haven't looked. Maybe we'll look and follow up. Are there
Yeah.
surveys of kids that consistently got rocked to sleep through toddlerhood that still need to be rocked to sleep at 10, 12, 13 years old? Not that I
I would,
necessarily mind rocking my son to sleep at 12,
yeah.
13 years old.
The
But like,
only time I had ever encountered a child that old that needed to be rocked to sleep, they were sick
yeah, because they want comfort from their
because they want
mother
comfort
or
from their
from their
mother.
parent, from their grown up.
But they do grow out of that. Like, and they'll,
Mhm.
like you encountered with your own child, they'll call when they're done with
Yep.
that stage.
Yep. Yeah, no.
it's
So now
a little early for that.
I'll be sitting there like rocking him to sleep, and he starts pointing at the crib. I'm like, fine,
Fine.
stretch out, roll down, that's fine.
Okay,
You can
fine.
do it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like we had to rock our son to sleep every time, and I mean every time he woke up, which is
Mhm.
the stage you're going through right now. That 4 months,
Yeah.
5 month, I don't know
Sleep
when
regression.
and we had to rock him to sleep every time. Was it hard? Was it difficult? Yes. But if
Yeah.
we put him down, he would just cry. And before, people jump on me for saying do the cry it out or the Ferber method,
Hell
we
no.
did we did what worked for us. There were
Yeah.
times that I was comfortable with his cry to let him cry himself to sleep. That took like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And
I'm not letting a baby cry for 2 hours. That's not
no,
happening.
and
You're
especially yeah,
insane.
right.
The most I'll do is 20 minutes, and that's just so that I can go either take a shower or sit
Mhm.
in the bathroom and collect myself and breathe myself down from the panic
And
attack
she
of
would,
I can't
yep.
get this baby. Say what? Yeah, she has the hiccups.
Yes, and
You're
that is
listening.
okay. That is
Yeah.
okay to
Yeah.
take time for yourself. It's one of those
Yeah.
things that so many people
Adjust
told me.
adjust my oxygen mask on
Yeah.
my face
Mm-hmm.
and then go back in there. But if they fall asleep in that 20 minutes, that's cool. That's fine. Okay, that's what you needed.
Mm-hmm.
You needed to sort out what you wanted and cry it out. I
Yep.
mean, everybody needs that. Everybody sometimes needs 5, 10, 15 minutes to just cry.
Yep.
Even as adults, we need that.
Uh-huh.
I really wish instead of a cigarette break, I could take a crying break
Right,
at
right.
work.
Crying and walking break.
Yeah. It's like, I'm gonna go take a cry break. I'll be
Yeah.
right back.
Can I call in because I'm sad? I'm not making fun of the post. I really do want to call in.
Call
Really
it
sad.
Oh, if only we could afford to do that.
Oh, I know. That would be great.
Yes. And also for reference, we do own we own and operate a family business with our husbands. So when we say we wish we could afford to do that, we are the backup.
Yep.
There is no backup for us. We are the
Mm-mm.
backup.
Yeah. So when
We're the last line of defense.
when
We have
both
to
of
show
us
up.
both of us were out on maternity leave, it took a lot of organizing
Yeah,
to
that
get
was
that figured out
and
ahead
I'm
of
gonna
time.
do it again.
But I have extra help on my side, so
Yes,
helps.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
I can go help on your side.
But yeah, like if they cry themselves to sleep in that 15, 20 minutes, that's fine. That's fine. But I'm not letting a baby cry for 2, 3 hours.
No.
You're insane. That's not no.
Mm-mm.
They're crying
Even
like
and
that for a
especially
reason.
when they're teething, which is a lot of times what's happening in those ages where parents
Yeah.
are desperate to get their children to sleep. I am with you. I understand. I am desperate for my child to take his naps right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. I'm not saying you shouldn't feel desperate to put your child to sleep. But if
Dipping the
they're
corner of a wet washcloth into some scotch is one way of handling that.
Yep.
A little bit of Tylenol is another.
Yep.
Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are tricks and there are things you can do that are not just letting your baby cry for 2-3 hours.
Right.
I'm not
And
doing that.
and
I'm not
sometimes
doing
that
that. I'm not doing
means
that.
you sleep in the rocker with your
That
baby
means
because if they're
sometimes you sleep on the
sick
couch. Like,
or they're
yeah.
teething. I'm sorry, but teething has gotta hurt. Like I
Oh,
can't
I know.
imagine.
I am missing 3.5 teeth, and I promise you, teeth pain is like the worst pain you have ever experienced in your life.
Yeah.
Like, and
So
I gave birth to a child, and I'm still gonna put teeth pain over that. Because, like, literally, and in one of the instances, my husband woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I wasn't in the bed. And he came down to the kitchen and he literally had to pull the pliers out of my hand because I was trying to pull my
oh,
teeth
I
out.
remember that.
Yes.
You came into
Like,
work and was like, "Can someone just take this tooth out,
yes. I
please?"
was literally with a pair of needle nose pliers trying to pull my own teeth out. That is like I can't imagine being a baby and experiencing any kind of pain in the mouth like that and not understanding what it is that I'm feeling
Mhm.
or why.
Yeah.
Like, this is their first interaction with pain in general, and it happens to be what I consider the worst pain you can feel.
Yeah, I mean, they feel pain if they get their vaccines and their shots, but that's quick.
Yeah.
So like this is their first, prolonged, aching, painful. Like I just, yeah, sometimes you may need to sit and rock your kid to sleep and hold them for 3, 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Okay. And
And
if
if you
your
need to do
child
it,
doesn't need that, that's
that's
okay too.
also
That's
okay.
also
That's
okay.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, as you've discovered, holding Max versus holding Evie, every baby's different.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it's
Every
been
baby's
fun.
different.
It's been fun to see that difference.
Yeah. Like
But it's
the
also
way,
fun, like in their case, them being cousins, they have very similar facial expressions,
yeah.
and it's just super cute. But then, Evie will do something completely different than Max did at that age, and that's fun and exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, they develop differently. They do things differently, and that's okay.
Yeah,
And what works for you as a mom is going to be different with each baby.
yeah,
Like, how I'm taking care of Evie is not how I'm going to handle the second child. That's like that's just
yeah.
that's an assumed point. Like,
They're gonna be different.
they're going to be different. My situation's going to be different. I'm going to be in a different headspace. It's going to be a second child. She's going to be around 2 years old. Like, it's just going
It's
to be a
already
different
different.
situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you've already got the nursery set up, so that's part of one thing that you won't need to do. Well, no, you said you're going to do a separate room, but
Yeah.
anyway, that was just
Yeah,
an
we'll
example.
take yeah.
This is an example.
But it's
Like
like,
you've already done a lot of the groundwork, so in a way, the second child will already be different
oh
because
yeah.
your process of preparing for a child is different.
And then from my experience with babysitting, like, every house you went into, the way that house ran was different.
Mm-hmm.
The way the parents did their routines was different, and that's okay.
And normal,
And normal. That's
right?
normal.
Right. And that
that's
is
it's a
what
100% normal.
and that's what I feel like a lot of these bloggers, Instagrammers, TikTokers, these your everyday moms like us that want to put content out about how they raised their child is great. But
And it's
please label it as this is what worked for me
me.
and my house.
And not don't label it as this is what you have to do.
Yes, this is how you get your baby to go to sleep.
No,
No, that's how
that's how
you
you
got
got
your baby.
your baby. Yeah.
Which I'm happy to read, but if it's labeled as this is how you do it, for me with the struggles that I'm currently going through, that is a immediate I'm going to start crying. Like
Yeah.
I'm failing. I'm already not doing it because this person's figured it out and they've had time to make a really fancy TikTok video and put it on TikTok
Yeah.
while dealing with the baby that doesn't want to go to sleep. And so it's like all of that together
It
from my
creates peer
perspective.
pressure.
Yes, it does.
It creates a lot of peer pressure. We'll talk later about how peer pressure can be a good thing and how peer pressure is a natural, instinctual thing that like highly complex societal animals rely on to function. But in this particular case, peer pressure is very negative
Yes.
because it's being applied poorly.
And I think I know we've talked together before about where was I
It's
going with that? Oh,
okay.
individualistic society and versus the communal society.
Hmm.
And I feel like all of these posts, I say all loosely, these all of these posts are geared towards, look, I can do it all by myself. Look at my beautiful house. Did y'all see my gorgeous house? It's like
Yeah,
it's not beautiful. It's beautiful to me.
it's
It's not
gorgeous.
it's not a sad beige mom house.
Do you want
Uh,
to see my husband's D&D collection?
yes. We may be nerds too.
Yeah, it's fine. It's normal.
Yeah. Um, but like it's portraying you can do it all. You can have your house in perfect order and you can get your children to go to sleep when you want them to go to sleep and fill in the blanks for everything else.
And let's not talk about how your husband is making at least 150K a year or more so
So
that
that's
you can be a
yeah.
stay-at-home mom and you have, like we were talking about, way more than 3 hours at a time with your child.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's leave
And
that out.
right. So cuz that will it does create false standards, quote unquote standards that we then feel that peer pressure, that societal peer pressure to achieve. I
Yep.
should have all of his games and toys organized by size or by color or by type or whatnot.
Yep.
Now, I love the idea of organizing by those things, but if I'm not there yet, it doesn't mean
Yeah.
I'm not doing a good job.
Or if my life just doesn't facilitate that. Like I
Yeah.
have a husband with extreme ADHD. He's a wonderful, beautiful man, but I'm not going to be organizing games and toys into a closet. It's if as soon as I shut that closet door, that stuff ceases to exist. Like,
Yeah.
so that's not going to happen in this household. Those games and toys are going to go into giant baskets on the floor, and I'm going to have baskets of stuff on the floor, and that's just how we function in this household, and that's
That's
okay.
okay. And so I just wish there was more out there on the social media platforms of, hey, what works for you? This is what works for me. Let's all come together and share our
Yeah.
stories. And instead, it's very isolating. It's very cold. It's very, this is what I do. So I am right and you're wrong.
And if you don't do it, then they might come to rely on you for comfort. I'm
Comfort.
sorry. That part just kills me. Like, why did you become a mom? I'm just gonna ask that question. I'm gonna put that question out there. Like, and if people want to comment and respond to that question, you are more than welcome to.
Yes.
But why did you become? If you are a mother, why did you become a mom? Was it an accident, which is totally valid? Or was it planned? Did you have an idea in your head of what you were going to be like as a mom?
Mm-hmm.
Because if becoming a mother wasn't synonymous with becoming a source of comfort, I want to know what the idea was. Because for me, mom is synonymous with comfort.
Yeah.
That word and comfort are the same word.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't separate them. And I'm speaking as someone who lost their mother 6 years ago. Speaking of which, happy anniversary to you and
Oh, thanks.
Dan.
Yeah, we started dating 7 years ago.
Yeah, today.
Today.
Um, but yeah, as someone who's lost their mother, like that, it's still inseparable to me. Mom and comfort are the same word. So I'm just curious, like if it's not that way for you, or if it is that way for you, what is it? What do you see? Why did you become a mother?
Yeah, I think that's great. And even not everybody's asked themselves that. Like,
Yeah,
I can't say that I sat down and thought, okay, I want to become a mother. What does that mean to me? Only because that's not my personality.
right.
There are people that want to prepare their emotional state for what's about to come.
Well, we don't live in a society that encourages any kind of rite of passage,
Yeah.
um, or holds any kind of rite of passage. And for me, being from the background that I'm from and having the spiritual background that I have, motherhood is automatically a rite of passage. Like just the choice to get pregnant, and I said choice to get pregnant and have that baby, um, that is a decision to go through a rite of passage. And
Hmm.
so from the moment I was sure I was pregnant, I was working towards that rite of passage. And we live in a society where that's not only not encouraged, it's practically non-existent.
It's actually discouraged
On a
in
certain
a
level,
way.
yeah. Yeah, you can be the same person you were
Yes, that.
before motherhood as a mother, and that's just not true.
No.
You're gonna change, you're gonna lose things. You're the who you were before motherhood dies, in a sense, in a
Hmm.
very deep spiritual sense. You will never be that woman again, and you become someone new as a mother. And
Yeah.
our culture does not prepare women at all for
I guess
that.
we should say
That
we're in America.
Yes, yes.
We should
We're
clarify
in
when we say society and culture, we're talking about America.
America. Yeah. We,
That's
yeah,
all I'm
couldn't
gonna say
tell from
about
our
it.
accents.
Yeah.
We're also in the South, just to be clear.
Yay! No, I love our state.
I love our state.
I love our state.
We have a beautiful state.
Yes. Doesn't mean I love everything our state does.
No, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay.
Big
But
rabbit
yeah,
trail we may not want to go down.
we'll go down that trail later. We'll
Yeah.
yeah. For right now, we'll avoid religion and politics, but I'm sure it will come up later. For now, yeah, we'll get into that later.
Yeah. So that societal pressure in America. Sorry, my dog is digging in the couch.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
She's
Um,
lost something precious,
she
I'm
has,
sure.
yeah. She's really freaking out. I'll get it in a second. But yeah, it's just, and I'm sure that the social media pressure is prevalent in other countries. And if we have any listeners that are from different countries, please let us know what the social media is like
Pressures
in
are
your,
on you, yeah.
yeah, pertaining to motherhood, pertaining to womanhood, pertaining to being alive, whatever. If you want to
Yeah,
share your experience with social media, that would be great. And like Rose said at the beginning, oh baby, there are definitely positives to
she's not
social
even
media.
awake. She's doing that in her sleep.
There's positives to social media. So obviously we are joining the social media world. We're not against it. We're not,
Yeah,
social
we're
media is
here.
bad and evil.
We're
It,
adding our voices to the cacophony.
yeah, it's a tool that just like any other tool on the planet, people can use it for good or for bad or for fun.
Yeah,
And that's okay
we're
to
mostly
use
here for
something for
fun.
fun. We're here for fun. Now she's digging under the blanket.
She's gonna pull the blanket off the couch. I'm
Yeah.
watching it happen.
Yep.
This-
I think there's like 3 blankets and a couple pillows, so when it comes off, it's coming off.
but yeah, it's wild how little preparation, and I think that lends itself to a lot of the American social media that we get to see, in that sense of you got to do it this way, and it has to, you have to have this completed
Mhm.
by the end of their wake window, or you have to, you have to play with them. Here's a list of things you can do for the next 7 days, or like just calm down. They'll be fine.
Mhm.
Throw put out some pillows and throw a blanket over it and let them crawl around in it. They'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Or put him in a
Well, and I'm
laundry
speaking
basket.
of toddlers, don't do that with newborns who can't crawl yet.
Yes. Appropriate forts.
Yes, appropriate pillow forts. Like, you don't have to go out and buy the latest toys. Yeah, I mean, hell, you don't even have to go out and buy a bassinet. If you've got a dresser drawer, they'll be fine.
Right.
I mean, if you can afford a bassinet, fantastic.
Yeah.
If you
Get what
can't,
get what
a
you want.
dresser drawer will be fine.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up, I was in a laundry basket for the first 4 months of my life.
perfect
And I
size.
turned out okay.
Yeah, perfect size. You can't climb out of it yet. I mean, it makes
Yeah.
sense. It's a bassinet. What is different about a laundry basket and a bassinet?
Bassinet.
It's a laundry basket with
Bas-
legs.
bassinet literally just means basket.
Right, but it's like
Yeah.
it has legs. It's a laundry basket with legs.
Yeah, it's a laundry basket with legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And right now it's a cat bed because that's who's taking it up at the moment. But like the pressure to buy the latest things, to do the latest things, and here's make sure you go buy a pack of gallon Ziploc bags so that you can fill it with gel and glitter and let them play with it, and do what with it when you're done? Throw it away. I mean, on the other hand, you could just here's some dough, knock
Yeah.
yourself out.
Yeah.
You can even eat it. It's just flour, salt, and water.
Yeah. And those fun little goopy bags, I think are a really good idea, and I may do them sporadically as a hey, let's do something different and fun today.
Yeah.
Not, oh, let me have one for you every day, and this hour from 9:30 to 10:15 is your sensory play.
Which is the implication you get from a lot of these posts.
Sensory play is great. But please, I mean,
they also
I know everybody's different. Some people need to schedule their day down to the minute, and I'm not.
And that's
I'm not
a
pointing.
very important thing.
Yeah, I'm not.
That I need to make. Like, if you need that schedule for your own sanity, that's a different conversation. Do what you need to do. We're talking about the pressure to do that, whether you need to or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do what you need to do above everything. And again, we're just talking our experience, and how we went through it and what we think. Our opinion.
And I'm the mom that's currently bouncing her 4-month-old baby with her foot while doing a podcast.
Mine finally went to sleep, I think.
I don't know. We haven't heard the monitor beep recently.
It didn't beep, so I'm gonna say he's asleep, which is great.
Yeah.
He got up a little earlier, so I think that helped.
Yeah.
With that.
Did you wake him up, or did he wake up
naturally? No, he woke up at 7:45.
Nice.
And by himself, and that's like the sweet spot.
Yeah.
For him to then go down for a nap easily, like excitedly. So we're getting there.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. And you know what? We'll figure it out, and then it's going to change on me again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how they do.
Yeah.
Well, you can always wake him up. We did talk about that.
Yep. In the I think I'm going to start doing that in the mornings, waking him up at 8 if he's not up yet.
Yeah.
It just helps him.
Kind of like I did her this morning. Like, no, it's 8. It's time to wake up.
It's time to wake up. I know there's the whole don't wake a sleeping baby, and there are definitely times that I'm like, do not wake a sleeping baby. But like we were saying, I think a morning wake up time is healthy. I think
at his age,
fine.
Yeah. I mean, it just helps to establish the routine of the day at his age.
Yeah, because then it gives us time
at her age, maybe not. But I still do it anyway because I need to establish a routine.
Right, because that's what you need. And like we were talking about how nap times are very important for my sanity.
Yeah.
Knowing that I can do this podcast without him needing me because he's asleep gives me the peace and the calmness to do this podcast.
Right.
I would not be very good at rocking him with my foot during a podcast. That's not how my mental state feels comfortable.
Right.
But that's
and when she gets older, that might change. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm the mom who's like, did she sleep? Cool. It's fine.
As long as there's sleep.
As long as there was sleep in the morning and sleep in the afternoon, we accomplished our goals. I don't care when it happens, just as long as there's 2.
It's like I'm not I don't care when it happens, except when it's not happening.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I could tell when she misses a morning nap, man. I'm like, you need a nap.
Frankie.
You are something else right now.
Hi. You want to play? Roxy wants to play.
Oh, that's cute. She bought
Max
you an
will get
axe.
this one and walk around with it, and he'll be holding it like a little dwarf. Call him Gimli.
Little Emily. Oh,
Yeah. All right.
all right. I think
So,
I think that's good.
okay.
If you're happy with that.
Yeah. Let me. Jesus Christ. Um, I didn't write
Do you
down
want to
all
do a
the stuff. Yeah.
Do you want to do a quick outro?
I do. What should I say?
Well, I can probably start it off. I think that's where we'll end for the day. We will be back. We are working with our format. We
Yep.
are still working with how we want these podcasts to go. So bear with us if you are actually joining us for the very first one.
Mhm.
And then Stephanie is going to give you information on where you can find us. We're hoping to be on YouTube if you want to see our faces and our backgrounds and see what a normal house looks like.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Stephanie is going to give you information on where you can message us, find us, and stuff like that.
Yes. So we are the Purring Pot, and you can find us on Instagram at the Purring Pot, on YouTube the Purring Pot. Um, I'm gonna assume Spotify is gonna be the Purring Pot. I have to set that one up, which
And
will be set up by the time this podcast comes out. So I'm gonna say the Purring Pot. We'll link everything down below in case some of the handles change
can
when
they
I
find us
actually
on
set it up.
Facebook?
You can find us on Facebook. Same thing, the
Awesome.
Purring Pot. We do have a TikTok. It's not active. It may become active. Feel free to check it out if you want. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to focus more on Instagram. If you have comments, please comment on this video. If you would like to direct message us, DM us. Sorry, that sounds weird.
No, I love it.
um, you can DM us on Instagram. We will check those. Or if you want to send us an email, thepurringpot@gmail.com. Super simple, super easy. And thanks, guys, for if you made it through the whole thing. Thank you for
Yeah,
listening to us ramble.
absolutely.
We're excited. We have a lot of wonderful talks when it's just the two of us. We're like, yeah, let's just see if other people are interested in real life womanhood.
Yeah. See if other people
Yeah.
are interested in what we have to say.
Yeah. So thanks, guys, and
Yeah.
we will see you
Next time.
later. Yes.
Yeah.